When a food in my kitchen appears to have passed its prime, my husband and I often disagree about whether to keep or toss it. He's traveled the world and has eaten many unrecognizable foods, so how harmful is a little mold? Just cut it off, he'll say. I, on the other hand, have worked in hospital food service and before becoming an RD took courses in food safety and food microbiology. Moldy chuck, it turns out we're both right or wrong, depending on how you look at things. According to the USDA, some foods can be used even when they're moldy, while others need to be discarded. Here are 4 moldy foods you can eat, but if it's completely covered with mold, throw it away, and 8 you should toss. By Briley Wright, nutrition editor. Apparently it's normal for these products to have a surface mold. The USDA's advice is to just scrub the mold off the surface and then use. For cheeses where mold isn't part of the processing, mold generally can get deep into the product. For hard cheeses, such as Asiago, Pecorino, Parmesan and Cheddar, lop off at least 1 inch around and below the mold spot to avoid cross-contamination. Be careful not to touch the mold with a knife. If these cheeses, such as Gorgonzola and Stilton, have a surface mold on them, you can use them if you cut off at least 1 inch around and below the mold spot. The key word here is firm. Think cabbage, bell peppers, carrots, etc. Like the hard cheeses made without mold, dense fruits and vegetables are not easily penetrated by mold. The same rule of thumb applies to firm produce. Cut off at least 1 inch around and below the mold spot, again, not touching the mold with your knife before using. Related 5 vegetables you should keep in your fridge. These foods have a high moisture content and some may be contaminated with mold, which have difficulties thin, thread-like branches and roots below the surface. Cheeses that are made with mold and aren't hard, such as brie, camembert and some blue cheeses, should be discarded. Soft cheeses, such as cottage and cream cheese, Neufchâtel, Chèvre, etc., should also be thrown away. Also ditch all types of crumbled, shredded or sliced cheeses. According to the USDA, the mold in jams and jellies could produce a mycotoxin, a poisonous substance that can make you sick and so should be discarded. Related 5 common foodborne bacteria to avoid, like yogurt and sour cream, soft fruits and vegetables, cucumbers, tomatoes, peaches, berries, etc. may have mold growing below the surface. Also, because mold spreads quickly in fruits and vegetables, check nearby foods in your produce drawer. These are porous foods, so mold may also be growing below the surface. Because these are processed without preservatives, they are at high risk for mold, according to the USDA. If these items, which are moisture-eric, like yogurt, sour cream and produce, have mold on them, they should be discarded as the mold may also be below the surface. The USDA advises that you discard cooked leftover meat and poultry, cooked casseroles and cooked grain and pasta that are moldy. They all have high moisture content and, thus, may be contaminated with mold below the surface.